So I am a long dark player, playing it on computer for the first time. And so I don't have any of the badges or any of the challenges done. And so I'm going to see how many of these I can get. Now some of these I'll never be able to get again. Some of them were for certain events. Like that's 2020. These were my favorite. This is a Halloween challenge, 4 days of night, where they had jack-o'-lanterns and candy bowls and things like that set up around, and there was no daylight for the entire week or whatever before Halloween. And I want to say, was it storms or high wind the whole time? Something like that. But I don't have any of the feats, which I'm really not used to. I played a couple of test runs, so I have some percentages here at the bottom, but not much. So we are going to try to see how many trophies, because I don't have any of the challenges either. Well, I got one of the trophies for sleeping, I think sleeping outside at night, and another one for surviving a day. Just doing the test run, trying to do stuff, but all the other ones, like killing a rabbit from 80 yards away or something like that, I don't have anything like that. The first one that I'm going to try to get is to not use a gun for, I think it's the first 50 days or something. I can't remember if I can't remember if I can't use a gun or if I can't kill anything. I want to say if I can't kill anything. Maybe I should look. Okay, so it is both. There is one for not killing anything for the first 25 days. So no fish, no rabbits, no birds, no living deer. I did during the test, I found a fish and thought I ruined it. I found a fish in somebody's fridge and ate it before I remembered. And that does not count. So if I find something that's, I can eat meat, it's not like a vegan thing. It's, I think it's called pacifist. So you can't kill anything. So I'm going to try to get that one first, and along with that, there's another one for not using a firearm for the first 50 days. Now it does say the first 50 days, so you can't do it later on. Like you can't wait until day 1000 when you're out of bullets and then get it. You got to do it at the beginning. So basically I can't use any bows or firearms or anything for the first 25 days, and then after that I can't use any firearms. And I assume that it means flare guns too. Okay, so survival, new game. We're doing stalker because interloper is just not fun for me. That's funny. I'm not used to not picking out any feats. I'm not used to not having any advantages to pick. Normally I have to pick between 12 of them or whatever, what 2 things I'm going to take with me, or 3 I think on Stalker. On my test run I did random and I was in Mountain Town and that kind of worked out for me. But let's try random, see what we get. Confirm. I will never play Will, because he's a horrible voice actor. I will go with Jennifer Hale, who is the female shepherd. And on a side note, they could have had one of the best male voice actors of all time be the voice of Will, because the guy who did the voice of Snake in Metal Gear is actually one of the other characters in the single-player game on the Long Dark. And so they wasted his talents being something that nobody ever sees when they could have got him to be Will. It's a travesty, and I hope somebody comes up with a mod to fix that one day. Let's see, what are we going to call this? Call it the Long Run. Are those birds I hear already? I just started. What is the keg? Unlike some pro players, I don't have every single spawn point memorized. I don't have wolf patterns memorized. I mean, I have 3,000 hours in the game. I just don't. My electronic assistant is talking to me about something. I have no idea why she thought I was talking to her. Well, I know I can open up the map and see what region I'm in, but that's kind of cheesing. Is this? I kind of don't know. Is this mountain? Is this over by the mountaineer's hut? It's water with a slope. But that don't look right. I don't see any tall enough mountains here. Hush River Valley, maybe? There's a bridge. Pleasant Valley? Right, Pleasant Valley.
I'll take it.
You're kidding, sister. Cut down trees. There's a structure. No, I have not played the new maps as much as the old maps, obviously. Trying to see, is that a train? Looks like there's another burned out structure back there. This is probably Pleasant Valley, it's just not a spawn point that I recognize. Well, like I say, I try not to, I hope that before they shut down production and stuff that they scramble up some of the spawn points, and something they could do easily, because a lot of the pro players, people that play all the time, they'll spawn like like this, and that's a very obvious landmarker, you know, of where you are, and they're like, oh, I'm at Pleasant Valley. But what they could do is have you start right here in these footprints, but have you facing a separate direction, so that each time you spawn in, you're looking at something else, so that way you at least have to look around. I shouldn't be worrying about this, but I am. I thought that there used to be a challenge or a trophy for not eating, only eating prepackaged food, like cans of food and stuff for a certain number of days, but I didn't see it anymore. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Here's a rope point with a rope, but we should be able to see everything. See where we are. Okay, yeah, that looks like the mountains. Okay, so we got two ledges. I want to say this is the mountain, Timberwolf Mountain. Oh, you know, it's probably Hush River Valley. I don't know. We'll keep looking around. That's why I don't look at the map. It's easy just to flick open your map and look at the top of it. I try not to look at the words when they pop up. I wish there was a way just to turn that off completely. I know a lot of the cheesing tricks that people do, like lighting a torch and then holding a rock up, and the wolf will run off. I guess I shouldn't tell people what the cheesing things are, but I just want you to know I know those things. I just don't like doing them. And I also don't like memorizing wolf spawn points and patrol points. I mean, there are some when you cannot help but memorize, like in Mystery Lake, there's a bridge that you got to walk over by the dam, and there's always a wolf underneath it. I mean, like 9 times out of 10, he's there, so it's hard not to know that. Oh, it's Milton again. Okay, well, I mean, I guess the gods want me to have Milton, because 2 times out of like 14 places, it's picked Milton randomly for me to go. Which is just fine. Like I said last time, Milton worked out for me quite great. I didn't start at that spawn point last time. Oh, we're about to have an aurora. Odd. Oh, wolves. There's a rope. That's kind of a cheesing thing I don't like doing normally, but these are exceptional times.
This'll come in handy.
Oh, I couldn't tell if there was anything in that second crate or not, but kinda, you know what? It's funny, I call myself a pro player, but I didn't know for an embarrassingly long period of time that you could throw rocks and distract things with them. Like an embarrassingly long number of
It's so
times.
cold. I just want to lay down for a bit.
Wow, they just won't leave me alone. Oh, that one came up short. Oh, was that for me? I feel like that was for me. I thought they would stop coming for me if I was in the thing, though. Now see, the developers don't have a way for you to turn around and look over your shoulder, which is perpetually annoying. Or hey, have me adjust the mirror. Oh, is he going for that rabbit? Oh, yeah, nope. I'm just gonna run for it. Yeah, he was just too close to the door. Oh, this is unfortunate. Shoes. Give me that. If I'm lucky enough to find the fireplace in here. I need something to burn. I don't want to break that down yet because I at least have a little bit of light right now. Water bottle, plank. Come on, give me some kind of paper. See, if I would have spent time
Hope nobody needs this
tearing
anymore.
up that chair, I wouldn't be able to see anything right now. But, like I said, I think there's an aurora, so the light should kick on in a minute. Which will be super lucky for me. Oh, no. Where's that trash can? Sorry guys, if I had a light, I would have it on. Ammunition I can't use for 50 days. Where's the... yeah, there we go. Nothing. Okay, oh wait, cardboard box. There's a big cardboard box, I think, here that's always in my way. Where's that guy at? Or was that him? We'll just say that was him. Sorry, I know this is bad television. Normally I wouldn't light a fire so soon. I'd search a little bit longer, but I know you guys want to see stuff. And now it turns on. Jerks.
Looks like this has been here a while.
I don't want to put down anything for water yet because if I don't really need it. I found a bottle when I came in the door, and I think you start with some. But if I walk off and leave that can and I don't find any more, then that's going to be a serious problem. And you always think, hey, there's a town right up the road. I'll find a can there. Well, you know, I did find a knife already. You need a knife, a hatchet, or a can opener to open cans without destroying them. And sometimes it takes you a while to find one of those things. I mean, you don't think that it will. But I've had to bash open cans for, 2 weeks or something before. Because you just didn't find any. Okay, there's a pot. Okay. Milk. And there's a pan. Okay. Let's go back here and start a fire while we got one going. Sure. I am going to keep searching with light because you always find stuff you miss. Like even if it was noon outside and I was searching, if I came back in after searching for hours, like that bullet I would have missed, I've been in this room already. I searched these filing cabinets, but it was in the pitch black dark, and so I did not see the bullet. But even at noon, sometimes you miss stuff that's so obvious. But if you light a torch and walk around, you'll see it immediately. So it's always better to search. Normally, I'll go through the place first, and then I'll light a torch, and then I'll run through it, basically. Doing a quick look around. Oh, matches. Dusting sulfur. And syrup. And sometimes sometimes fish are in the fridge, and you can also search the fridge. It's very perplexing. Like the fish that I found on the playthrough. The door on the fridge was shut a little bit more than this one. And it was sitting on a shelf in there, but yet I could also search it. It's weird. I think they messed... Oh, no. I think they messed that up at some point. Flour.
I don't know.
Crackers.
Being useful.
What's up, Doc? You have food for Larry. Larry is the only indoor rabbit in the game. He lives in a cave. Or I guess a tunnel system. It's always nice to leave an offering for Larry. I feel like I found just about everything here to find. And sometimes they like putting stuff like back there in that corner. I'm trying to think of the weirdest spot I ever found anything in here, and I'm really coming up with nothing, but you find new stuff, new places all the time where they hide stuff. Like I was on this map during the test run, I was leaving the post office, I think, which normally doesn't really have anything in it. I think sometimes there's like a toque on the ground and maybe like a can of soda or something, but there's really no reason to go in there. It hardly ever has anything in there. And I saw on one of the gumball machines, like by the door, there was a black toque sitting on it, on top of it, and I don't think I ever noticed that before. Let's think about this for a minute. I didn't find anything in here to read. I didn't find anything in here to do. Oh, those are 100%? Yeah. I didn't know for a long time that you could scrap these to get a stick back, which makes no sense. I mean, if anything, it should scrap to charcoal or something. It shouldn't scrap back to wood. Dumb. I'm getting rid of the worst torches and turning them back into firewood. 46 minutes. Okay, so that one should be done when we wake up. So, and lay down for an hour and then try to pick those up so I don't forget my pots. Which happens more times than you would think. Just a skillet. Take that. And can leave my can on the stove. Well, I already rested 1 hour. Duck out here and see if those wolves are still here. Oh yeah, there they are, all of them. Only now there are Aurora wolves, which are more deadly. So we will go ahead and sleep. I was going to try to sneak over to the garage. Aurora ended anyway. Okay, so here's the boring part of the first couple of days of any playthrough. Is I have nothing to do in the dark. Nothing. I don't have any. There's no light, so I can't read books, even if I had any. I don't have a sharpening stone. I don't have a sewing kit. I don't have a gun or a gun cleaning kit. So a lot of things you do to pass the time are not available to me. Yeah, because normally I would patch some of these clothes. That music's not creepy or anything. For a very long period of time, I had all the music on this game turned off for some reason. And so I forgot there was music. I thought it was just a kind of sterile survival experience. And so now whenever music kicks on, I'm terrified. Okay, it is no longer an Aurora. That sounded like a rabbit dying. Oh, he's still there. Really? Go do something. Go live your life. All of them. They're not going to despawn. That's so weird. it. I'm gonna sleep the rest of it. Normally I always forget to duck going outdoors. I almost never remember, but those 3 guys have been out here for 6 times in a row. This time I think I'm just gonna have to go. What is that up on the ridge? Apologies, friend. It is so hard for me to leave that garage. That garage probably has tools and books in it. Probably at least one tool, and then there's a thing for potatoes and stuff in there. I think there's a toolbox, there's a workbench with a drawer. Basically, there's 3 or 4 tool chests in there where you could get a pole. And then sometimes some are just laying on the ground, but sometimes there's a gun book in there, which, I mean, I got 50 days to read that one, so I guess it's no big deal. A lot of people think the interloper is harder, and it is, but this stalker is harder in different ways. Interloper, you have nowhere near the number of wolves. Like on interloper, you might have like 1 wolf over there instead of 3 or 4. There's at least 3, but there may be 4 or 5. And then there may still be more wolves. But they're right over this ridge, like where the sun's coming up. There is a town over there. See, I can't get these because I don't have a tool. Don't have a tool. What's that, bark? Because you use these trees to make arrows, and then the tree that was back behind that hill you used to make a bow. And so I guess I can't use those for 25 days, but at least I could start drying them out and crafting them and stuff so that I would be ready to go. Those wolves are coming this way. Oh, they're coming this way hard. Do I have anything smelly on me? No? They just like me today. Probably gonna follow me all the way to town. Okay, now the safe way to town from here, not that I ever think you'll start here. I didn't even know there was a spawn point back there. But the safe way is to come up to this road.
Damn, I'm freezing.
And then come this way, and you can see a town right there. Okay? But you can go over these hills too, up that way. And come out of the town from the other direction. But if you're in a blizzard or something, you want to keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. but Milton is notorious for being chock full of wolves. I mean, like, absolutely chock full of wolves. There will be a wolf behind every house up in here, especially on Stalker. And you always got to remember how to light the torch because they don't make it nice. You got to hold the trigger down and then you got to hold down, I think, X. I'm not going to loot this car yet because I don't have spray paint. I'll just end up looting it again anyway. Let's see if we can at least find spray paint in here.
Probably useful.
I'm finding a lot of milk this time.
Okay.
Okay, see that I can eat. I mean, I know I can normally eat fish, but I don't think there's a prepackaged food thing anymore, if there ever was one.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Some people will tell you to always take all the water out of the toilet everywhere you go. I prefer to leave it in case I get wounded and trapped in here, or there's a blizzard or something.
Handy.
Nice! The stem early. In case you get trapped in here, you have something to drink. Yeah, see, this is like one of the freezers I was talking about. Before there was a fish in one of these that I could loot. But then you could also open it up and search it. Oh, yeah, see? Walk off and leave the salt. So I always try to go over everything twice. And always look up high. A lot of people forget to look up. And keep looking up. Another pot? Good lord. I'm gonna have to go by the old lady's house just to drop all of these pots off. It's getting kind of ridiculous. Oh, there's a sewing kit. Okay, so the big thing that I need for Mountain Town, which I almost didn't find until my trial run was over last time, is a pry bar. There are a lot of car trunks in this town. And you cannot get those open without a pry bar. Unless they're unlocked. I always want to be able to go down in the basement or in that closet. Because that's a closet. No, I think it's a basement. I think it goes this way and then hooks down just like that stairway does. And so this would all be basement. They ought to add that on. They ought to add that on. Okay. I don't have spray paint. Got something worthless I could drop. Drop a piece of charcoal. And once again, I forgot to duck. I'm dropping that out front so I know that I searched that place. Normally I spray paint on the door.
Gotta warm up somehow.
Let's wait on that. Let's get in here and see if there's a can of spray paint in here. In the house, not in the mailbox. Shut up. And I'm gonna, sometimes there's a tool back here. The book. Come on, give me a pry bar.
I'll take it.
Nope.
Oh, so cold.
Okay, here comes one of my all-time favorite long dark stories. And if you're my family, you can go ahead and skip forward 90 seconds. Because you've heard this numerous times. In the single-player game, there is a little old lady that sits in this chair, a blind lady, that has a gun. And this is like the blanket that's on her lap. And if you look this way, there's bullet holes on all these walls where she was shooting at somebody, apparently. And I don't think that's in the single game. It wasn't there last time I played it. But she is a chaotic evil old lady. For people who don't know what that is, it's a very selfish, self-centered person. He will do anything to get ahead. And she lies to you. I think Astrid is supposed to be your ex-wife. It's been a while since I played the other game, but the single player you're playing is Will, and Astrid, I think, is supposed to be your ex-wife. And you crash in an airplane, and Will doesn't know where she is, and can't find her, and he stumbles down out of the mountains into this town that has nobody left alive in it, except for this little old lady who's sitting in this chair. And she says that Astrid has gone through there, and that she knows where Astrid went. And if you help her, that she will tell you where Astrid went. But in a surprise to most RPG elements, because that's boilerplate stuff right there. Like that's every role-playing game that's ever existed has that. Oh, you got to get the cheese for the mouse so that the cat will help you. But so you spend 3 days chopping firewood, stocking meat in this lady's larder, and mending her clothes, and polishing her guns, and all this garbage. She has you working for 3 days while your wife is out there dying or freezing or starving. And then when you finally do all this work for her, she's like, oh, I don't know anything about her. I've never met her, never seen her, don't know where she is. I was just lying to you because I needed somebody's help or I would die. And they won't let you kill her. They won't let you get your stuff back. Because at that point, like, I absolutely would have. If it was real life, I would not have been okay with somebody doing that at all. Like, you were seriously gonna let my wife die out there because you're worried. Like, you ain't gonna help me or ask for my help or anything like that. You're just gonna exploit me and then expect to keep all this stuff? No. Mm-mm. And so I was reading on the forums, and this is where the rant comes in. I was reading on the forums one time where this guy, completely opposite apparently of me, politically, ecumenically, like whatever, he said, oh, when I went in Milton and I turned the corner and I saw the knocked over chair and the little old blind lady's blanket, I knew something untoward happened to her. He actually said that. He typed that in a form, untoward. I'll toward you what happened to the little old lady. I'll toward you exactly what happened to the little old lady. The little old chaotic evil lady that lied to you? Oh yeah. I can tell you exactly who she was shooting at. So, there's my rant. That's my little old lady rant. Just because somebody's little, old, and blind does not mean they get to be evil. Just FYI, game developers. Remember that, Hinterland? That should be a thing where you should have a chance to take stuff back. And then, like, if you take food back or whatever, you come back later and she's starved to death and you find her dead on the floor. Do something like that. Like, I think The Witcher had a mission like that where there was a plague and there were two kids that were running and hiding, and they went to the plague island or whatever, and you had to kill the kids or tell the guards where they were or whatever. That is weird. One, I've never seen anything there before, and why is it floating? I'm guessing it's supposed to be on the bed.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
But you have a choice to basically get the kids killed or kill them yourself, or leave them alone and let the guards not find them. And if you leave them alone and you don't kill them, because I mean they're like, I want to say they're like 13 or something. They're kiddish kids. They're not like eloping teenagers or something. But if you leave them alone and you don't turn them in, you come back later and the entire island is wiped out. Everybody is dead from the plague, just laying around on the city street and everywhere, just dead. You got all those people killed because of two idiots. So, I mean, choices have consequences. That actually happened in real life. I remember reading a historical account of one of the cities in France. I think it was one of the kind of major ones. That they were walled off for the plague, and there was plague in the countryside and stuff, which usually is backwards. Usually the city gets it first, and then everybody runs to the country. That's the thing where it broke out in some other city and was working its way to it, and so they had closed the walls and everything, cordoned off the city, and the city was fine, and this girl's friend lived outside the city, and the girl knew that she died, and she wanted a blouse that the girl had, and so she snuck out of the city, got the blouse, snuck back in again, and I guess brought fleas or the actual plague with her, and exposed the city. So she came down with the plague, and the guards were like, "Hey, what did you do? Where did you go? How did you get the cordyceps fungus or the bubonic plague?" And she was like, "Oh, I snuck out to go get a blouse. It's completely good." And they were like, "No, it's not completely good. You just exposed the whole city because you were selfish and wanted a old shirt from a dead person. Great job." So, I mean, stuff like that does happen in real life. I like to think that it doesn't, but it does. Thus far, I've been less than enamored over the things that I've found here. Okay, I always consider this to be the big chest, even though the loot table is not anything different. Give me something big.
I think I can use this.
Kind of a decent coat. It's not a horrible coat. It's probably in the middle. Okay. 0.9, yeah, those are way worse. And I will come back later when I start a fire for some reason and search everything with a torch.